Okay, so our next video is note 0.4 graphs and ordered pairs, right? So we're going to see how ordered pairs, tables, function notation, and graphs, how they all relate to one another. So first we have an ordered pair 3 comma 4. In a table, we would write the 3 under the x and the 4 under the y. In function notation, again, I'm going to replace the x with a 3 and the y with a 4 because ordered pairs are x comma y. And when I graph that, I first find the x value on my x-axis. Our x value is a 3. Then I go up or down to find my y value. My y value is 4, so that means I'm going to go up to the 4, right? So that's how all three are related to one another. Now let's look at letter B. So letter B, this time we start with the table. We have 5 comma negative 7. I'm sorry, we have 5 negative 7, but the ordered pair would be 5 comma negative 7. The function notation, replace the x with a 5. So we have f of 5 equals our y value, negative 7. When we graph it on our graph here, first we need to find the x-axis value of 5, which is right here. Then we have a y value of negative 7. So that means we're actually going to drop down from this 5, drop all the way down to where we see the negative 7. And that's where our letter B would go, right? Because here's my negative 7. Let's try and look at letter D. That's the last example I'll do with you on this table. So letter D, we are actually starting with a point on the graph. So this point, let's just find its numbers. So we have a negative 9, and then we have a negative 3. So if I want to know what the x value is for this point, I look up at the x-axis, and it's a negative 9. Oops, we're looking at D. Then when I look at its y value, I look at the y-axis, and its y value is a negative 3. Now, when I fill out the table, well, x is negative 9, y is negative 3. When I fill out the function notation, we have f of negative 9 because x is negative 9. Y value is going to be negative 3. If you need more examples, I will be doing more with you after this video is done or when we have been 20 minutes into class. Now the next bit, let's make it so you can see it. Let's interpret graphs to fill out the missing information for tables, ordered pairs, and function notation. So number 1 here, we have 2 comma 6, and we got that from the graph, right? So for number 1, we knew we had it started with a 2 for our x, right? So on my x-axis, I was going to look at 2, and I was looking for where I saw a point happening on this line here, and I saw my point was right there. So I just figured out what the y value was, and it was 6, and that's why I wrote the 6 here. Now let's do the same thing, but let's do it for number 4 using some function notation. Right, so in this case, we have f of something equals negative 9. Well, f of something, that missing something is an x. What we do know is a y. So right now we know the y is negative 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my y-axis for negative 9, and that's right here. Now I need to find where I see a dot. I don't see a dot on the left side, so let's check out the right side. Hey, ding, ding, ding. All right, so I see a dot on the right side here. Let's find its x-axis value. So I'm going to just go straight up to the x-axis, and I see that its x value is a 10. So that means f of 10 equals negative 9, because this is, again, my x. Now let's look at number 5. So number 5 here, we're using a table this time. We're trying to figure out when x is a negative 7. All right, so we're looking at our x-axis. So I'm going to find negative 7 on my x-axis first. Here it is. Now I need to find the dot that hits on the x-axis right here. And what I see is I have a dot that goes straight down on that negative 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm missing my y value. So let's see what the y value is by going to the y-axis from this dot. And look at that. My y-axis value for this is a negative 5. All right, if you need more examples, I will be doing more with you. If you're like, Ms. Rawolf, I got this, go ahead, do your exit ticket, and then get started on your homework.